What an afternoon for Middlesbrough, and what an afternoon for one of their players in particular. Michael Carrick's side rounded off this group of fixtures with a 1-0 victory over Championship leaders, runaway Championship leaders Leicester City, thanks to a goal from Sam Greenwood. That game and that victory has meant that Middlesbrough go into the international break just a couple of points off the playoff places and really starting to put pressure on that top six as we move into the business phase of the season, as we get stuck into the festive fixtures where the matches start piling up and the league table really starts to kind of take shape as we look towards the promotion battle. But for one player in particular, Sam Greenwood, it was an afternoon like no other as he scored the crucial free kick that sent Middlesbrough to victory. Obviously, Greenwood joined Middlesbrough on loan from Leeds United over the course of the summer. He's been there for a couple of seasons, having joined from Arsenal's academy. He started at Sunderland's academy, moved to Arsenal, and ended up at Leeds United, where he has played first-team football. He played a fair bit under Marcelo Bielsa and under Jesse Marsch, but he was unable to kind of make his mark on the first team, I guess, and prove himself as a regular starter. Obviously, this season, Leeds suffered relegation last term, got relegated. Daniel Farke took charge of the club, and he's kind of looked to make his own mark on things at Ellen Road, with Sam Greenwood not being part of the first team picture. So, as a result of that, and after a disjointed pre-season, he was allowed to leave Leeds on loan over the course of the summer, a season-long loan deal with a £1.5 million option agreement for Middlesbrough to buy the player come the end of the season. Now, it's not a given that Middlesbrough will be able to get this deal done. Obviously, the player has to agree to it. Given his performances, it could well depend on where Middlesbrough are playing next season, whether they're in the Championship or in the Premier League. But for Middlesbrough, you've got to look at that deal and think that is an astounding piece of business done by Kieran Scott. What we've seen from Greenwood in the last few weeks in particular, it's just been absolutely incredible, really. For a player who was coming in, obviously wasn't going to be playing much football at all at Leeds United, he's come into Middlesbrough and it was a slow start for him. As I mentioned before, he did have a disjointed pre-season. He picked up an injury, I believe at the start of August, and that kind of disrupted his start to life, and that meant that when he came to Middlesbrough he wasn't fully fit. But Michael Carrick was insistent that we were patient with him. He was always going to get his opportunity, particularly given how badly Middlesbrough were performing at the time. And what we've seen in the last few weeks is just how good a player he can be. We kind of saw it before the last international break. Obviously, he got that goal against Sunderland, his boyhood club. And in the last few weeks, he's just been incredible. 4 goals in his last 6 matches. He's only started 7 times for Middlesbrough in all competitions this season. So it's a really impressive record for him. And I think what's most frightening is the fact that he looks like he's only going to be getting better. He's only 21 years of age. He's very much in the upward curve of his career, and this is really the first kind of run of first team fixtures that he's getting at this level. It's a great platform for him, a great chance to show what he can do, because he's clearly a highly rated young lad, having progressed through Sunderland, went to Arsenal. They've got an outstanding youth academy. A club who don't buy players just for the sake of it. They brought him in, clearly saw something in him, and he moved to Leeds United in the hope of getting more regular first team opportunities, which he did get. But now he's at Middlesbrough, it's his opportunity to really show what he can do at this level, and my God, is he doing it. I think for Middlesbrough, he's probably been our most important player over the last few weeks. I know I've spoken about Josh Coburn and Hayden Hackney. They're 2 of the players that are kind of taking a lot of the headlines, I guess, in the last few weeks due to being Middlesbrough's academy graduates and just the level of their performance, which has been great as well. But I think Sam Greenwood, he's the guy who's scoring these so important goals, and I think with 4 goals in his last 6 fixtures for Middlesbrough, he's really the man in form and really someone that Middlesbrough will be looking to over the coming weeks and months. He has been playing off the left flank. It's a position which isn't natural to him. He typically plays as a number 10, and I think what we'll find is that when Riley McGree comes back from injury, he'll be coming back in on the left, which is his natural position. Riley McGree is an automatic starter. There's no doubt about that. He will be coming back into the side, but I think based on the form of Sam Greenwood, there's absolutely no question at all that he will be in that starting 11. It's just a case of where we put him. Number 10 is his most natural position, so will it be a case of him challenging Matt Crooks for that position? Although Crooks has been brilliant of late. He can play up front as well. It's not his most natural position, but I think with Josh Coburn and Emmanuel Latilath playing there, it'll be interesting to see what Michael Carrick decides to do. But I think given his recent run of form, he's probably the first name on the team sheet at the moment, just given how impressive his performances have been. And for Middlesbrough's recruitment team, I think they just deserve huge credit for getting this deal done. Bringing in a player like him on loan is tricky enough. Convincing him that Middlesbrough is the best place to continue his development is a big ask, because there was a queue of Championship clubs who wanted to bring him in. But getting him into the club and agreeing a deal with that £1.5 million option is just incredible. If Middlesbrough get to the end of the season and we can bring him in permanently for that amount, it'll be one of the bargains of the century. Probably the best value signing that Middlesbrough have made since they signed George Friend for, what was it, £400,000, given the amount of service that we got out of him. It'll be an absolutely crazy signing if Middlesbrough could pull it off. It'll be very interesting to see whether we can. Obviously, it's early days for him. He's only been at the club a couple of months and the season is a long one. But I think early signs are suggesting that he's really is a quality operator at this level. Potentially by the end of the season, we'll be saying that he's too good for the Championship. But hopefully, if he can help Middlesbrough achieve their objectives by securing promotion, it could be a match made in heaven, and what a bargain signing that could be to help us as we move into next season. So, yeah, very early days, not getting carried away with it whatsoever, even though we've just beaten the runaway league leaders. But, Sam Greenwood, what a player. Probably one of my favourites so far this season. And, here's hoping that we see more of the same from him in the coming weeks, and we can just start to show just how good a signing that would be if we could bring him in for £1.5 million. Leeds will be kicking themselves for putting that clause into that deal. For them, that'll be a huge loss if they lose a player of his quality for that amount. But for Middlesbrough, once again, it might just be a kind of show of positivity in Kieran Scott and the recruitment team, just how good a job they're doing, and the fact that they can strike this sort of deal for a player of such quality, someone who is going to be a Premier League player, whether it's with Middlesbrough or someone else. I think all Middlesbrough fans will be looking to see more of the same from him after the international break, and hopefully a few more absolute bangers like that free kick that he scored against Leicester. So, there's plenty more to come from me as we go into the international break. I've got a couple of exclusive interviews which I'll be putting up over the next couple of weeks, and up the Boro, and here's hoping for another few positive results as we move towards the end of November.